Today, we're going to build a mobile app 100% with AI and without writing a single line of code. That's crazy. So with just one prompt, it's going to build out the entire like 4-step onboarding flow for us.
There you go. See how good that looks?
Now, I don't know how to build mobile apps myself, so I got Riley Brown, who is the best vibe coder in the world, to come here and show us how to do it.
Do you have any ideas or types of apps you might want to create?
I always have these ideas for creating content, but I always forget them. I'd love to be able to write them down or ideally even record them with my voice. Any chance we can build that?
That is a great idea. I love it.
Oh man, I actually think this is pretty decent for a first shot if I'm being honest.
No. It's decent for a first shot, but you want to like personalize it.
Oh, interesting. Let's jump right in. Riley, welcome to the show. What are you going to teach us today?
Yeah, today we're going to build a mobile app directly from our phone. And because of AI, this is now possible, right? You don't need to learn how to code in order to build an app. And we're even going to add some designs to this app because this is an app that I made. It's literally just a blank app called Zane's app. And one of the new features that we've added in Vibe Code is pinch to build. And so you basically just take your two fingers and you're going to swipe in from the middle of the screen. And this is going to open up this bottom menu. Here we can generate images and place them in our app. Here we can generate audio and place them in our app. We can select from different haptics, which are like the little vibrations when you press a button. Basically anything that a professional designer or front-end engineer would want to add to your app, you can do that. We can actually attach any APIs. So like we can create an app that uses Nano Banana, right? We have image generation. We can select Nano Banana. And we basically have all of these options down here in this menu. And our goal was to kind of make it feel like CapCut. And so, yeah, I guess let's go ahead and create an app. Do you have any ideas or types of apps you might want to create? I'm curious.
Yeah, I think just off the top of my head, I always have like these ideas for creating content, but I always forget them. I'd love to be able to write them down or ideally even record them with my voice. Any chance we can build that?
That is a great idea. I love it. So what we're going to do is we're going to pinch. Now what we're going to do is let's start off with a logo. And we'll make it a voice. I love the idea of voice notes. I love that. And so what we're going to do is, back tap detected. What the heck? We're going to go to the image tab and we are going to create an icon. As you can see here, let's do my favorite prompt for images. We're going to do 3D render of a voice bubble icon cartoon, and we'll say cute. And then a color. What color do you want this app to be? Or like what accent color?
Okay, so my newsletter is green and black, so let's go with green and black.
Let's go green. Let's just do green with black outline. And what I like to do is I like to generate many of them. So like maybe with slight variation. So I'll just like copy the prompt. We'll generate that. And what's cool is this app is literally Claude code. So this is Claude code in a mobile app that makes mobile apps. And so whenever you're done, so this will take a little bit to generate. This is just the GPT image model because it generates images without a background. And it's just the best at creating icons. And so you can just like select them. See, you can select these images and you can just add them to the prompt. And then you can just say like, add these to the app, right? Obviously we have to wait for the images to load. There you go. I think this is pretty solid. It doesn't look like it removed the background though. It should have. Let's wait for the next one. There we go. So let's add this to the prompt. Please make this the logo of the app and put it at the top left. Call this app, let's say, Superhuman Voice. This is a voice notes app that transcribes my voice notes and uses AI to title and summarize the note. What we can do is we can go to the API tab and we can use the GPT for text. We need some text model to summarize and also use AI to And then we can also do, and I think we can just say, please use Whisper for the transcription of the voice note. So we've done a lot here. We've referenced an image, and we're saying we want to create a voice notes app, and we'll just send it to Claude Code. And so this is basically just Claude Code now generating the app. And while it's loading, one of the biggest annoyances for vibe coding that our team noticed like throughout this whole process is that like people get bored while the agent is working, right? Oftentimes people will go to social media and then they'll forget they're building an app. And we wanted to create an app that allows you to kind of explore the possibilities like while it's loading. And so here we can actually explore with like different types of haptics. And so what I like is I usually like this like rigid haptic. You can't feel this, so you're not going to be able to experience it the way I am, because when you hit play, you feel the haptic. If you notice in like ChatGPT, they have really good haptics. You know, they're subtle. You don't even realize they're doing it. All of the really good apps like have really good. You can feel it in your phone because it vibrates while you're using it. And so if let's say we wanted to use this haptic, it's like when I start a voice note, please use this haptic. And so it's still generating code, but we can actually still submit it. And you can see here at the bottom, there's a queue. So as soon as this agent is done building our app, it'll immediately submit the next one. And so we can queue up a bunch of prompts at once. So it allows you to kind of just do things in order and not really have to wait for anything.
Awesome. How long does it usually take?
I would say this is like this. We're doing a lot here. We're adding 2 APIs, and we are uploading an image and basically creating the full app. All of the iterations after this will take less time. This could take up to 5 minutes, but like it's already been
Cool.
like 3, hopefully like 2 minutes, which is always the trade-off, right? Like, okay,
Yeah.
so it looks like it's done. And you see that it automatically started the next prompt, but we can actually begin testing it right here. So you can see that it's downloading. And so this is our new app, and we will take a look. Let's see how it did. Boom. So notice here that we have this. Oh, so since this is automatically stored locally on our iPhone, I've made
Yeah.
an app that has voice notes, and that local storage, which is stored in the voice notes app, is actually showing up here. And so that's really funny. So a previous voice notes app that I've created are already showing up here,
Oh,
which
cool.
is actually
Interesting.
really fun.
Yeah.
So here, let's give this a try. So you see Superhuman Voice, it used the logo that we have. Oops. Oh, it added the haptic. So now it has to re-download the app. So the second change is already done. And notice how the second change where we're adding a haptic, which is a lot less for the agent to do, took only about 20 seconds, where the first generation took like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Fair.
All right, let's give this a test. Okay, so now it's recording my voice. My name is Riley. I'm going on Zane's podcast right now. I'm having a good time. We're using AI to make an app, which is really fun. Let's see if this works. So it says untitled voice note. Here we have AI summary. Okay, so it shows the full transcription. So it's not using AI to retitle it, but it is getting the full transcription. I can play it. I don't think you can hear that, but it
I
is
can
playing
hear that,
back.
but I can tell that it's working. Yeah.
Amazing. So it is playing it back. So I can say, okay, it's working for the transcription, but after the transcription happens, use the AI model to basically generate a title for each one. It should be maximum 7 words and a accurate representation of the voice note. And I also want to add a new feature. If I go into the voice note, there should be a little image icon. And when I press that, I want you to generate a thumbnail for it. So that means you're going to need to input the voice note into the prompt, or actually come up with a new prompt for it that would generate a thumbnail using the GPT image model. That would be an accurate thumbnail for that voice note. I don't know. I don't know how functional this feature is, but it sounded fun.
Yeah,
Um,
for folks who are wondering what just happened, like, you didn't type that out. I mean, did you use something like Whisperflow for that? For
so
recording your voice and transcribing it?
fun fact, we are using Whisperflow in our app. So that we're using the Whisperflow SDK, which actually isn't publicly available. We just know their team and we are using it under the hood. So it is literally Whisperflow. And so we can just press, we can actually press the API tab, and we want to use the image generation model. Let's use OpenAI GPT-1, image 1. And you don't need your own API key when building this out. You can just use this out of the box. Just press it and then say use this model for that. Now we send it back to Claude Code.
And out of curiosity, right? Like when I'm building an app, I'm obviously thinking of the front end, but like the back end as well. How's the back end working? Are you guys setting it up yourself with Superbase or something? Like what's happening?
It's so interesting because we haven't announced this by the time this podcast is out. As you can see here, there's a cloud tab,
Yeah,
and we are finishing that today, actually.
nice.
So all you'll have to do is go to this tab and say turn on cloud. And what this will do is it'll take all of like the sample data that you have here and basically create a vibe coded, like a vibe code first backend, which includes authentication, which means sign in, database, which is database storage, and wait, I said sign in, database, and storage. So you'll be able to upload images, and you'll be able to create a social app. And so I'll be able to send it to you. You'll be able to sign in, and we can create little multiplayer apps that we can both
Oh,
use
interesting.
in a single
Nice.
prompt. And so that is something that we've been working on tirelessly because that is the precursor for payments. So if you see here, the final tab is payments, and we're going to create a revenue cat integration, which will integrate with our backend. And so allow people to charge people because there is, if you click right here, you can actually publish it to the App Store. And this can literally let you from your phone, this has never been done before, publish an app directly to the App Store. All you have to do is literally get started. You sign in with your Apple developer account, and you basically just go through, you generate an app icon and you send it to the App Store. And then it goes under review by Apple, and you literally never have to do anything from your computer, which is a process we're going to make easier and easier and easier. Let's see how the agent is doing.
And if I build this app and I want to use it locally on my phone, is this like a test flight sort of situation where it kind of generates an app within your phone, or do you have to test it within this app?
When you send it through this, there's many ways to test it, right? You can test it while using the app and you can just open it. By the way, any app you create on Vibecode, you can go to your home screen, right? You can go to your home screen and add a widget, and you can find Vibecode and then add your apps to your home screen, which
Very
is
cool.
awesome. And then you can share them with your friends. Once you send it to the App Store, you're basically sending it to TestFlight. And then so then you get a TestFlight link. You can send it to your friends via TestFlight and they can download it on their phone as well.
Nice.
But one cool thing that we've worked on is app clips. So you can actually share this and publish it as an app clip. So anybody can open this and use this app by clicking this link, whether or not they have the Vibecode app open. It gets saved as like a little mini app on your phone,
Nice.
which all you have to do, now you can immediately share this. So I could text this to you and you could immediately use this app. It is done. So now, right now I'm recording my voice, and we just added a feature that hopefully transcribes or does an AI summary of each of the voice notes. Let's see if it did that. I kind of hope we get an error so we can go through that process. Okay, I'm not seeing the AI summary. Let's see if the thumbnail thing works. Oh, it is generating a thumbnail.
There we go. Yeah, it's working now.
Okay, so the thumbnail feature is working, but it is not generating.
Yeah. So for anyone who's new to building apps, like there's always bugs, and I think what we're going through right now is just like a simple debugging process where we tell the agent that something isn't working. It tries to figure out what's not working, and then comes back to us. Correct?
Yes, exactly. Oh, there we go. Okay, the app's done, but the thumbnail does load. The problem is that it's not updating. These tiny little bugs are so like, it's just hard.
It's all part of the process. Yeah.
If we were to click on this, you see now we have an AI generated voice note, right?
Yeah.
I was getting mad that this one, the notes were titled, and here it generated a thumbnail that says untitled voice note. Um,
Yeah.
So this is one thing that I actually seen developers do is every time their app reloads, they don't want to have to go through the onboarding. And so while you're creating an onboarding, which is actually the most important part, if you want to create an app that gets a lot of users, you need to create an onboarding experience that like
100%.
educates the user on how to use it. It's incredibly important. And I see developers who don't even vibe code usually make it so like they just create a little thing within the app, like trigger the onboarding if you double tap the logo. That's just what I do. The icon at the top left. Make this a great 4 page onboarding. So we can actually begin like creating the onboarding experience for our voice notes app.
That's crazy. So with just one prompt, it's going to build out the entire like 4-step onboarding flow for us?
I mean, yeah, we could have asked for 10 steps if we want. I
Oh
just don't
shit.
like
Okay,
long
that's yeah.
onboardings.
No, that's pretty cool
Yeah.
because I've seen like with a lot of like the other one-shot apps, like where especially the prompt to app ones, is like they give you one page, but building stuff around that is fairly complex. You definitely cannot build multiple pages from that. So this is pretty cool.
Yeah. And one tip, no matter what vibe coding tool, honestly. So in the chat, you see at the top right, it shows clear history.
Yeah.
You want to make sure to clear the history as much as you can. Claude Code does manage your, and this goes for ChatGPT or Claude. You notice how if you use Claude, the desktop app, as the chat gets longer, it'll say, please clear the chat to make it cheaper and perform better. And you just want to get in the habit of doing that more often because the first prompt in the chat will always do better than the 30th prompt. And so if you want to create something like a 10-page onboarding and you also want it to understand the app deeply, you should definitely clear the chat before doing that.
Interesting.
Except in this case, it's only our 4th prompt. But like once you get up to like 10 prompts, definitely clear the chat more frequently. I think it definitely makes the app perform better.
Interesting.
I don't know if the voice notes thing works. I'm recording my voice, doing another test. My name is Riley Brown. That is my name. So please make the title of this voice note something about Riley Brown. I'll be quite disappointed if it doesn't AI title this. All of the notes are called untitled voice notes. So if I'm looking at the list on the main homepage after recording my voice, I want AI to rename it. And I don't want it to be untitled voice note. I want it to animate into the new AI generated title for that voice note after I record it and you transcribe it. Please do this.
Okay, let's see if this one works.
Okay, so it's done, right? It just created, right? I've queued up a new prompt, so that's what it's working on now, but it did just create the onboarding. And so we can double tap on the icon up here, double tap. Okay, you see this? We have voice notes made
Nice.
easy. Next, AI powered transcription. Next, smart summaries. Next, visual thumbnail, superhuman voice, get started. And now we're into our app.
Amazing.
What's really cool, so we have a voice icon, AI-powered transcription. See, these out of the box are ugly, right? I think that's super annoying. So
Oh man, I actually think this is pretty decent for a first shot. If I'm being honest.
no, it's decent for a first shot, but you want to like personalize it. Like we can create like black 3D render of a podcast mic, magic wand, black. I love the 3D cartoon render. It's just such like it usually makes it kind of like a 3D. And so we can generate these icons because again, we can just ask Claude Code to place these anywhere you want in the app. The last one was smart summaries. We can just make it like a document, white document, 3D render icon.
Could we share like a sharing option? Like if someone just wanted to share it directly to their WhatsApp in their phone?
That's a great idea. So it's done. Hopefully everything works here. So what we tried to do 2 things in the last prompt. What we did is we tried to update the onboarding. And remember, see, the assets that we generated are now in the app. See how good that looks? Like we have this voice notes made easy, AI-powered transcription, and then smart summaries. Obviously this doc, maybe we should have made it like blue or something. It kind of blends in, but I think that looks pretty good. I forgot to make another one, but we can very easily add that and we can hit get started. The next thing that we tried to do is we tried to fix the AI generated title. So I just really excited to continue building an app that builds mobile apps, the Vibe Code app. We're continuing to build it and we have a massive launch on Monday. There you go. Now, not only does it get the
Nice.
transcription, but it also uses AI to summarize it. And we also added this AI-powered thumbnail generation, which is not a useful feature, but that's okay. And we can listen to it back. And we added a haptic, so you can actually feel the haptic when I start recording the voice note, which is really fun. And so we created this superhuman voice. And by the time this video is out, you will be able to add a Claude. And so you can learn about it, and then you'll be able to add it to your app so that everything gets stored, and you can send it to friends immediately and they can start creating voice notes. And you can also create like a family notes app where you can add information and everyone will be able to see it in real time. Like you'll be able to create a note, you'll be able to see it in real time. And we're trying to like make it a lot easier to create these multiplayer apps because younger generations, they're on their phone. And I think people will love to learn how to vibe code on this.
Awesome. I think final question anyone would have, right? Like you want to build an app with features, you want to have an onboarding, but the final piece, a lot of folks probably want to monetize their app. Do you want to maybe do a quick 2-minute demo of how someone can just put a paywall up in this?
Yes. Okay. So like I just said, Claude is coming by the time you see this video, Claude will be out and it works very well. We've spent basically the last week just testing Claude Code at how well it's able to set up this database authentication and storage, right? Which is a prerequisite for payments. All of these vibe coded apps right now, Replit, Lovable, Bolt even, none of them have gotten payments right yet. They talk about how you can add payments. It doesn't work. It works like 5% of the time. You have to integrate it with Stripe. And so
Yeah.
we don't want to release it while you have like a 5% success rate. I think that is too low. And so we are basically racing forward. So once you create a Claude or a backend to your app, you'll be able to just go to this payments tab and it'll basically just ask you a list of questions and you'll be able to like specify how you want to monetize it, right? Because if you have AI features, you need to charge them per credit, right?
Cool.
Or else someone could sign up for $20 a month and then use the AI features in your app and run up a $2,000
Neat.
bill in your app. And so payments are the most difficult part, but I think with focused effort, I think we're going to have this feature out within 2 weeks after our launch on Monday. So by the end of the year, we think we will have payments that are one prompt. Like basically you just select payments, answer a few questions, connect it to your RevenueCat account, and you will be able to implement payments. But like we
Yeah.
could add a paywall. Like we could say, please add a paywall at the end of the onboarding, make it the last page of the onboarding, make it look really good and add a plans that you think would be best for pricing. And this would be good to create a mock-up for a paywall. And by the way, if you hire someone to create a mobile app from scratch, like you could pay upwards of like $10,000. But if you send them an app that's like mostly done at this point, like they could very easily just activate it and make it work. And I think that's just how like a lot of agent tools and vibe coding tools work at this stage. But like our goal obviously is to just make it work out of the box. And I think by the end of the year, we'll get there.
Yeah.
By the way, so I think this is at a pretty good, I don't know if it's created the paywall. I believe it did. So we can actually just check out the final feature that we created, which should be this paywall. There you go. We have this paywall right here. We can start the free trial. It's just a mock paywall. You can edit it and add new icons, etc. But this is a good start for a voice notes app, and it's a purely local voice notes app. And then we can go to the payments tab. We're going to have that very soon. But when you want to send it to the App Store, you just hit publish to the App Store, and you can literally go through the full process. We can actually send it to TestFlight let me show you this. We have to generate an app icon. By the way, you can change this later. It doesn't matter what you send to TestFlight. So we are going to generate a nice icon and literally send it to TestFlight, which is the precursor for sending it to the App Store, which allows you to actually make money from your app.
Awesome. Awesome. And before, while this is happening, just a quick question. If someone is new to vibe coding, I mean, you've obviously been through this whole sort of, journey of figuring out everything. What are like the core basic concepts they should really familiarize themselves with? Like, for example, it's good to know what a front end and a back end and a database is, for example.
From a basics standpoint, understand onboarding, understand consumer psychology, and like actually try and solve people's problems. I think when people get into vibe coding, they come in with these abstract ideas. They come in with these like grandiose app ideas that even if you were 100% technical and can make any app you want, they're too audacious because when you create a new product, remember that it's often one singular feature that people will want and to sign up for your app. So you want to focus on that one feature. Ideally, it solves a key pain point, but also it should be what we call a halo feature, which is like it's kind of the LeBron James feature. You want to build your team around it. You might want to add features later, but you want to start with that feature that you can market, right? If LeBron James is in your app, people are going to come for that reason, right? And so if you think of a voice notes app or like something like Cal AI, which allows you to take a photo of food and get the calories, right? That is a really useful feature because people don't want to log their calories manually. And also it's viral, like that's cool. And so that is like what I call a halo feature. And you should start with that and try not to go beyond that. Try and perfect that one feature. And you might be thinking like, okay, how do I find features like that? I would really learn if there's a semi-advanced thing is like learn how to use different APIs. One tool like FAL and also something like Open Router, those two tools, like study the cutting edge APIs because oftentimes a really cool app is just like an intersection between a few AI technologies. For instance,
Yeah.
we're using Whisper to transcribe and then you're using AI to summarize that transcription, right? Which is a combination between two. Yes, it's been done. And I don't think this is a very good Halo feature because there's 1,000 voice notes app on the App Store. So it might not
Yeah.
be that interesting, but every day new APIs are coming out. For example, like Sesame is releasing their API, which is like a really personal AI voice app that you can speak with. And we're going to add that directly into the Vibecode app. And you can find interesting ways to use these different APIs as single standalone apps that could make $100,000 a month or plus. We've seen it time and time again. And so I just recommend staying up to date on the latest AI APIs. I think that there's a huge advantage to doing that. And that's just like a really exciting, fun problem to be solving right now because I just think the vibe coding space, sorry to go off on this tangent here, but like this is just in my business, the business hat here, like I think Lovable, Bolt, and Replit, I think those three companies got the starting your app craze moment, the prototype phase of vibe coding. It kind of sparked a revolution, but I don't think there's really any moats in this space besides like allowing users to succeed. And none of them have done a great job allowing users to succeed by allowing people to make money. Because I think more and more people want to
Yeah.
become kind of creators / builders, and more people are going to want to just create these little side hustles. Maybe their app brings in $1,500 a month or $5,000 a month. And I think we are going to see a massive wave through 2026 of people actually making real money. Built into the app, you're going to have like an AI security review, and we'll get multiple AI agents to go through and look for security vulnerabilities. We definitely think this is a problem that's very solvable because a lot of the anti-AI people are like, well, it's not going to be secure. It's like, just wait, like most people
Yeah.
who just start developing their code, if they write it manually, there's a lot of security problems. Like it's not just an AI thing.
Yeah. So I heard something recently, and this is like not connected directly to the app building stuff, but I'll come on to that in a second. Is Balaji Srinivasan recently said that what he does is he'll tell when he needs legal work done, what he'll do is like he'll tell the AI, hey, like this is legal work I need done. Can you draft up a contract? And then when it's drafted up, he'll send it over to a lawyer just to review, and he ends up saving 80% on billing hours, something along those lines is what he said. So do you feel like vibe coding is at that point where you can get it maybe 80 to 90% done? And if you have like small niggly things like a paywall, maybe you can get the help of a professional developer for a few hours? Or do you feel like we're already at the point where no, you can just vibe code it 100% and just ship it and start monetizing it?
Oh, I mean, we are for sure at that Balaji stage, for sure. And I love Balaji. And I think I remember the tweet when he said that. And I think that's exactly what we do for everything. It's not just like any sort of like formal, like for the other day, we were making a marketing brief, like I'm a content creator. I've never created a marketing brief. And so like I'll have AI create most of this massive marketing brief that we're sending out to a bunch of influencers. And, like we're spending
Yeah.
150K. We want to get the most out of it. And it'll create an outline, which is 90%. We're like, okay, this is mostly done. Now this is for the human element. Let's refine it. Let's make it better. And so I'm a huge fan of that methodology, using AI to create this like outline and finish it off. And I think we're for sure in that stage for vibe coding. And And that's why it's so popular in enterprises, because in an enterprise, you have a technical team that you can send your ideas to and they can finish it off for you. Whereas in the indie hacker space, or people trying to make money by themselves, we're not seeing as much vibe coding because they don't have teams that can do that final 10, 20%. And so I think the great, it's flashy for demos to create the first 80 to 90%, but like all of the rapid growth, the true growth in vibe coding will come from the last 20% for sure. And I think it's coming very soon. And that goes for AI generated video as well. Like video is like, all the people who are making really good AI videos are people who are really good video editors. Yes, they're using AI
Yeah.
tools, and then they're bringing it together in this format. I think it's a really good, and it's definitely worthwhile to have like really good skills in user experience, no matter what domain it is. Sorry to over expand on that response.
Awesome. Awesome. Interesting. Awesome, man. This has been super educational. Um, Frankly, I think everyone should learn how to build this. I don't think, I don't think this is just for entrepreneurs. If you have a problem you want to solve for yourself or your family or your friends, you can definitely do that. Or if you want to build something for work as well. So for example, this notes app right here is a personal app. Like this is something that I will probably use for work because this is a problem that I have. And it, probably gonna save me a ton of time. So Riley, thank you so much for this. Before we log off, where can folks download the app and where can folks find you online?
Yeah, so if you go to vibecode.dev, that is where you can use the app. We also have a web app that you can use. I prefer the mobile app. And so it's on the App Store. If you just type in Vibecode and then look for a big orange logo, the Vibecode app, that is where you can download the app. And yeah,